And so my next question is, did you always see yourself pursuing chemical engineering, or did your interests in STEM change as you matured, or were you maybe not interested in STEM at all and then you became interested, or how did that work?
Yeah, so I initially did not see myself in STEM. Is it a question of did I see myself or had I seen myself? But that's a whole representation conversation for later. But yeah, so I had initially not seen myself in STEM at all. I mean, STEM was always cool to me, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna be like a musician or whatever. But then I heard about the grand challenges of engineering, and I heard about some of the problems that were yet to be solved in STEM. And I was like, oh, like I would love to work on that. That'd be so cool. And so that's when I started to kind of hear about what I could do with STEM. That's when I started to really kind of see myself in STEM. And chemical engineering, chemistry, all the time when I learned about it, I was just so enamored by it. It was just so crazy how these things at the atomic scale existed, these forces existed, and how when you scale them up, you can see them at the large scale. And then the chemical engineering allowed me to bring in the math and the problem solving as well. So it kind of all fell into place.
That's very cool. And this question actually connects to the one before, but do you have a specific experience or moment when you first realized that you definitely wanted to devote the rest of your life to STEM? And if so, how did this realization make you feel?
Yeah, so there was a moment when I was interested in STEM. That was when I first heard about the National Academy of Engineering's 14 grand challenges for the 21st century, one of which is reverse engineering the brain, which there's a lot in that in itself. I really encourage you, if you're interested in any kind of engineering, definitely check out the National Academy's grand challenges of engineering and see if one calls to you. That one, I just remember hearing about it and I just got such a flutter, just such an excitement about it. But maybe at that point, I didn't know I was going to devote my whole life to it. But it was like, to use scientific terms, repeated exposure, right? So every time that I would research something about it or hear something about it, I would just get that like same flutter of excitement that I didn't get from learning about other things. And I was like, I'm just going to keep studying this until I don't love it anymore. And here we are 10 years later. And I still get so excited about the problems that I get to wake up and solve every day. So
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, I've never even seen the National Academy of Engineering's challenges, so I think I definitely want to look into that because I'm sure and are they very diverse in terms of what they're actually talking about, or?
they're diverse, they cover a large range and they span across a lot of engineering disciplines. So something that from the 20th to the 21st century, one of the big shifts was the 20th century was really what engineering problems can you solve within your discipline. So you had very distinct lines between what civil engineers worked on, what chemical engineers worked on, what electrical engineers worked on. But now in the 21st century, a lot of these problems are really interconnected. So it's really bringing together diverse groups of engineers and scientists because we need all of us to solve the most pressing problems of the century. So
Did you have a mentor in STEM, or do you have a mentor now? And when did this mentor enter your life? And would you advise girls in STEM to find mentors?
oh, for sure. That's probably the biggest thing. The biggest thing you'll hear about, the biggest thing people in my position and above will talk about is mentorship. So my first actually so mentors come kind of by happenstance. Like I've had mentors that I was just a part of things and then kept in touch and they became mentors. One of my biggest mentors is Dr. Laura Bottomley. She's actually the one that introduced me to the grand challenges of engineering. And I just kind of kept in touch with her all these years and went to her for guidance and things all along the way. Another huge mentor is Dr. Elizabeth Nance. That's my current PI. Actually came to this university to continue being mentored by her. She's now my boss. But any opportunity that I've gotten, it's been because of a mentor, or if I found the opportunity myself, they've talked me through it, helped me edit things, helped me win money. So definitely get some mentors, and they also can help you strategize through this field as a woman or as a woman of color and things. So yeah, definitely get a mentor. That's the biggest thing.
And were your mentors, did they all work in chemical engineering as well? Or did you find yourself having mentors who were from other disciplines in engineering or just other disciplines in STEM as well?
Yeah. So only about two of my, I would say, core mentor group are chemical engineers. Dr. Bottomley's in electrical engineering, Dr. Simpson's in sciences. Dr. Bullard is in chemical engineering. Dr. Nance is in chemical engineering. So yeah, there's many others. Lisa Marshall, she's in nuclear engineering. So really it's just surrounding yourself with strong women in STEM, women that you can look to, kind of see how they interact with the world, and they'll all kind of give you different pieces of advice. But yeah.